and there was a debate between the old scholars. Some understood that verse to mean that infidels were physically prevented from approaching Baitullah, and this is why the present regime also, which is a Wahhabi regime and is very strict in following the word and letter, do not permit non-Muslims to go to Mecca, even if they are not infidels, and even if they are not idolaters. They are prevented. For that we have no authority. In fact, what happened was, as Hadhrat Imam Abu Hanifa and many other scholars have inferred, that la yaqrabu do you remember? Anyway, I'll explain. I mean, I don't remember the verse exactly, but it is said that after this year, the verse was revealed after Hunain, and when Ahmad had returned to Medina. So it was said that after this year, the infidels shall not be permitted to go near Khana Kaaba, and they will never have access or possession of these places. This is the verse which I am referring to, and this verse has been variously interpreted by various people. Some infer that there is a total prohibition of physical approach, and they strictly follow this. And there are others who believe that this is not correct because it contradicts some other explanations of Ahmad himself. So it has to be a spiritual approach which is prohibited. And the order which was given by Ahmad explains this. They were forbidden from making circuits with the old customs. The same customs were forbidden to be revived. The result was that they were forbidden to go naked, they were forbidden to chant slogans or such religious expressions as would remind one of idolatry. So that was the real prevention. This is why once in this majlis, in answer to a question, I maintained the same position, and I still maintain the same position, despite the fact that some eminent scholars pointed out that the verse is very clear on this point, that they should not be permitted to go near Khana Kaaba physically. But it's not so. It's not so clear as far as that goes. On the contrary, the same verse was quoted against physical approach to Ahmad by some of his companions, and he refuted this and said this is the incorrect meaning you have understood. So after that, what is left? Some non-Muslims entered Masjid al-Nabwi, which is a very sacred mosque, to say the least. It should stand, if not equal, second to Khana Kaaba, second I think to Khana Kaaba in importance, because Khana Kaaba was also built for Ahmad ultimately, and he performed his Hajj and Salat there. So after Khana Kaaba, if there was a sacred mosque, in degree I mean, every mosque is sacred otherwise, it was the closest to Khana Kaaba was Ahmad's mosque. He permitted non-Muslims and also infidels, idolaters, to approach him in that mosque. And when questioned by Sahaba, the same verse was quoted by Sahaba, that is companions, that isn't it said in the Holy Quran, إِنَّمَا الْمُشْرِكُونَ نَجِسٌ, So Hadhrat said, yes, it is said, but it does not mean physical najis. It is the najis of the heart, and the najis of the heart does not make the physical being of a place filthy. It does not soil a physical thing. So how wise and how beautiful this observation is, that when Allah says najis, that is the najis of the heart and the najis of the mind, and that cannot translate itself into a physical reality and touch a physical being. So this is why Hazur Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam permitted them to enter the mosque, but they were not permitted to perform their worship to idols. So that is the meaning, they should not be permitted to come near. That is, in essence, their customs should not be permitted to have a play in the same sacred place. Their religious rites should not be permitted. It should be kept clean from all concepts of idolatry. That is the meaning. So Ahmad stopped that as well. Any other question, or someone else would like to give him a break for a while? Yes? Abdullah Sahib, please. Achha.
Assalamu alaikum. This is a question from a Christian friend of mine who says that God created all the prophets, brought different religions to this world, and every prophet brought his own religion and his own book. Till the Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam brought Quran, and that was the end. We Muslims and Ahmadis, we believe that the Holy Quran is the last book and Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was the last prophet. But a Christian who believes in Bible says that whatever the Bible taught me, or Jesus Christ teaching, I believe in it. But why should I believe in Quran when God told me to believe in through Jesus Christ, to believe in the Bible? Why should I believe in your Quran? Nauzubillah, I had doubts about the God, that why he is changing his mind. Every time he sends a new prophet and says, we believe in this, right. And then now Allah says,
right.
This is the question.
So what should be the answer to this question?
Yes, sir.
Have you thought of some answers yourself?
No, really.
Have you ever attempted to answer these questions?
No, really.
The answer should be very simple and straightforward. Why do not they still believe in the superstitions which were called science at the earlier ages, and reject the modern discoveries? Why have they changed their concepts about nature? Because they find the earlier concepts to be incorrect and the modern concepts to be correct. That is the simple way why people change. So the answer is that you should compare the teachings of the Holy Quran and the observations it has made on various aspects of nature, and compare them with the Bible and their observations made in various books of the Bible. And you will find that there is such hocus pocus as compared to the declarations of the Holy Quran, and so faulty and so contradictory to its own statements, that it's no longer a book to be reliable, but to be considered reliable. So unless you make a comparative study of the Holy Quran and the Bible and know for yourself, you will not be able to cope with such a questioner. But even the non-Muslims have started pointing out these facts. There is a book written by a French scholar who has compared scientifically the observations made by the Holy Quran on certain aspects of nature and the observations made by the Bible on the same aspects of nature. And he points out categorically, repeatedly, and proves his point by the latest scientific authorities, by quoting the latest scientific authorities as well, that each time the Holy Quran is correct, and each time the Bible is either totally incorrect or mostly incorrect.